There's growing uncertainty on how the maritime trade flows will evolve in the future, and the ITF has centered one of its roundtable on these issues in order to pick up which elements can help define better the modeling strategies for the future of predicting future trade flows. In particular, the 5 areas have been identified. The first concerned the modeling of the forecasting of demand. In particular, we had as an output that GDP and economic growth will remain the main driving forces of trade flows, and so the same population growth. Obviously, then more detailed analysis of these aspects has to be carried out, and we will see different patterns in the regional economies, and the evolving differentiation of economic condition will necessarily have an impact also on trade flows. The other aspects which are being considered concern environment. One of the position papers has been focusing on environment effect on both the side of demand for maritime transport, but also all the elements which have to be taken into account by the maritime industry and shippers in order to respect the IMO prescriptions and the Paris Agreement. We have also tackled the issue on the supply side, which has focused on the organization by maritime enterprises, by shipping companies, and the strategies they've been pursuing in the past few years, from alliances to growing consortia operating. And this aspect we have considered especially the economies of scale that they might be drawing from these strategies. This remains quite a relevant issue, but an element which has come from the discussion is that is not cost the main driving force of the new maritime services, but also quality. And quality has been quite discussed in details, and the definition of quality and how this can impact the demand for maritime transport services, which has to adapt to reality. Then particular emphasis has been given to the infrastructure, the role of infrastructure to promote maritime flows, and especially to address and to determine the patterns of it. In particular, we have considered the new China initiatives, so the Belt and Road initiatives, and all the various projects which are being carried out with different extent of probability of effective realization. They go from the initiatives which involved the European ports to the ones which aim to connect China directly with states like the Nicaragua Channel. We have also considered what the impact of these initiatives in the Asia region. And the last but not least, we've considered the North Sea channel, which is being developed, and the impact that on this effective possibility to implement such a new connection has the environment and the policies which have been implemented in these past few years, in the next few years. We have seen from the forecasting models that a lot of impact can be derived by how we effectively implement environmental protection measures, and the baseline of both these two last aspects concerning infrastructure and availability of service are that there is not a financing problem, but we have to verify very carefully what the potential demand for these is in order to use resources in an effective and useful manner.